They recently announced a film called Reagan. It would star Will Ferrell playing President Ronald Reagan in the later years of his presidency, as he was starting to succumb more to dementia. And it would follow him as well as an aide that tries to help him by telling him that he's playing the role of the president in the movie. The response to the announcement was overwhelmingly negative. The Alzheimer's Association sent letters to them and to Will Ferrell trying to stop the production of the movie. They felt that it was offensive and that this is something that you can't joke about. Ronald Reagan's kids got involved, and there was numerous comments all over the place. Basically, people recounting their stories of dealing with people with dementia, and the general response was that this is something you really shouldn't make fun of, that they're being insensitive and all this. And I thought I would give my take on it because I'm kind of in a unique situation as well. My mother has dementia. She's been dealing with it for almost 2 years now. She requires 24-hour care, and I have to help her with pretty much everything. And it's not been a fun time. And for people that don't really know what it is, the main thing that everybody knows is that it's memory loss, where you forget what you had for breakfast, you forget what happened yesterday and the day before, and as it progresses, the memory loss gets worse. She's not quite at the point yet where she forgets who I am, though she might forget my name every once in a while. But it's still, the main issue is having to do with doing little tasks. That's where the big problems come in. Forgetting to eat is bad enough, but not being able to figure out how to change clothes or bathe or make food. And it just snowballs from there. And she can do a lot of stuff, but it takes her time. And if you're talking about something like going to the bathroom, whatever, taking your time is not the best option. So she requires assistance. And even little things like using the remote control on the TV. She struggles with it because she can't remember how to do it. And it'll make her frustrated and everything. And the thing about her is she was the type of woman where she was pretty much a poor man's geek squad. She was the person that everybody else called when they needed electronics set up, like TVs, stereos, get VCRs, setting the timers on VCRs and all this. Everybody called her because she knew how to do that. We live around entertainment, especially movies. We had at one point like 400 VHS tapes, each one with like 2 to 3 movies on it. We loved movies, and we loved the making of movies as well. We watched a lot of behind the scenes. We would go to Blockbuster and rent a movie, then copy it onto a blank VHS tape and keep it in our collection. And we would rewatch movies all the time. And so that stereos and TVs and all that was tech that she knew about, and she would help everybody else with it. She was not a tech master, but she had a fair bit of knowledge with it. And in her later years, she even was more of a gamer. She loves RPGs. She loved especially Pokemon. She has nearly every Pokemon game released for the Game Boy Advance and the DS. She loved it so much she even has 2 Game Boy Advance SPs and 2 DSs just so she could trade Pokemon back and forth to catch them all. But she also loved other games. She loved Kingdom Hearts. She has Chain of Memories. She loves that. Final Fantasy IV. I think she has a couple Final Fantasies and just various other games. And she used to play it all the time. All her Pokemon games have like 100-hour saves on it. I mean, she loved it. She would spend a lot of her time, when she was off work or whatever. And, she loves various types of entertainment. We both do. And now she can't even figure out how to turn the systems on. She can't figure out how to start a DVD. And she would get frustrated and all this. But at the same time, we joked about it. We try to keep it light. We try to keep our spirits up. It's far too easy to let yourself get drawn down into a deep, dark place because it is such a shitty situation. So we would make jokes about it. She would laugh about it. She would smile about it. She'd be laughing at her own inability to do things. She'd be having trouble putting on a shirt, and she'll be laughing about it. Oh, this is so stupid. She even joked that she kind of likes watching movies now because every time she watches a movie, it's like watching it for the first time. So you have to keep that levity. You have to joke about it. You can't treat it as this dire, doomed situation that it really is, because you'll end up getting yourself drawn into it and not being able to get back out. It's not to say that there aren't hard times and that you don't sink into that dark place sometimes, but you need to try to keep your spirits up. Try to joke about it. Try to have fun and enjoy the time that there is left. So the idea that you can't joke about it, I don't agree with it at all. Yes, you can be offensive. You can be insulting. And if it's coming from that place, then yeah, fine. But the thing is, with this movie, we don't know that. It didn't come out. We didn't see how it was handled. They're just going by the idea that it's a movie dealing with dementia, and it's also a comedy. So they don't want, their automatic offended sense comes on. But that's not the right tack to take. I understand their feelings, but at the same time, it's not something that you can't joke about, that you have to be serious about all the time. The darkest times is when you really need the light, and you need levity, you need to joke, you need to have fun. And, you shouldn't have to walk on eggshells. You shouldn't have to avoid certain subjects, especially if you're dealing with it. And eventually that Will Ferrell came out and said he wasn't going to do the movie. And I kind of wish that he would have. I like Will Ferrell. Stranger Than Fiction was a great movie. And if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's not a pure comedy, but he really did a very good job in that movie. There's some other movies that he did, but that one, she liked that one too. She likes Will Ferrell. Not all of his movies, but she liked that one. She liked that. She liked Land of the Lost and a couple others. And she probably would have liked this one too. She likes comedies. And the thing is, you didn't see how it was handled. It's a knee-jerk reaction you shouldn't just prejudge. You should try take a wait and see attitude. Judging movies before they're released, it's stupid. See how it comes. See how it turns out, because you never know. You never know. Even if it did end up, or if the announcement had made it look like it was going to be offensive, I still would say try first, because you don't know. Even in the last video I did, talking about wanting to make Elsa gay in the sequel to Frozen, I would still check out that movie and see how it was, even if I don't particularly care for the idea or think that they should take a different tact with it. Make their own Disney princess instead of converting another one. But I would still check out the movie, because if it's a good movie, it's a good movie. Who cares? The same with the Ghostbusters. I mentioned that before. If it turns out to be a good movie, it's a good movie. If not, they should have done it a different way. But there's no subject that shouldn't be made fun of or can't be made fun of. I don't remember the exact quote, but Trey Parker and Matt Stone, I remember them saying one time something basically, everybody has the right to be made fun of, regardless of race, religion, gender, whatever. To do any less would be discrimination. And I do believe that. Can you go too far? Yes. If it's coming from a place of being insulting or offensive, just trying to piss people off, then yeah, I can understand that. Then yeah, that's wrong. Just making jokes, that's something a little different. And we don't know what the situation is, or the situation with the writer. I've actually heard, apparently the script for Reagan was pretty good, but we won't see it, at least not now. And I think people sometimes can be too sensitive. And I'm just giving my personal take based on my own experiences. I can understand where they're coming from. I don't agree with it, and that's just me.